Good evening. Could I ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of colors by the City of Fort Lauderdale Police Department Honor Guard. Please join me in welcoming three very special students from Mount Olivet Junior Academy, Morgan Bailey, Farrah Murray, and Lauren Murray, who will perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Stay right there. Not yet. It's an honor for me at this time to welcome Reverend Ron Perkins, who will deliver tonight's invocation. Ron is no stranger to any of us. He serves as the chaplain to both our police department and our fire department, and is always there for us. Reverend Ron?
Let us pray. The Lord be with you. Barak atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Eternal Father, we come together this evening as a community, thankful for the many blessings you have bestowed upon our great city. You have provided us exceptional leaders in our mayor, city commission, and city manager. We pray that you continue to grace them with a gift of wisdom, courage, and foresight to provide for the needs of all our people and to fulfill their obligations to our community as a whole. We seek your blessings upon all the people that are privileged to call Fort Lauderdale home, as well as those that come into the city to work and those visitors that come to our shores from around the world. We also pray, Father, for the health and safety of those that protect us and our property from danger, our law enforcement officers and firefighters. Wrap your arms around them and return them safely to their loved ones when their shifts are complete. Finally, Father, we seek your blessings on the United States of America. In this time of political debate, we ask that you bring discernment to our national, state, and local candidates and lead them to unify our people. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please retire the colors. Well, once again, good evening. Let me begin by thanking Gail Butler, Jim Ellis, Jennifer Roberts, Steve DiPuzzo, and the Birch State Park staff and family, and the Friends of Birch State Park for all their hard work and generosity in hosting tonight's event. Thank you all. This park is one of our true community treasures. It offers outstanding recreation, education, and environmental programs for children and adults of all ages. I encourage you all to bring your families back here for a visit and experience all they have to offer on any one of the upcoming weekends. And Steve DiPuzzo will have that restaurant open too, so it should just be fantastic after the Thanksgiving holidays. I also want to thank Randy Corinthian, who provided the smooth jazz music during our reception. Thank you, Randy. And for that fabulous rendition of the national anthem, again, the ladies from Mount Olivet Junior Academy. And just so you know, they're here with their principal, Cynthia Murray. Cynthia, thank you for being here. And her music teacher, Gerald Murray. So, and you know, I just, again, just want to thank Ron Perkins. He is there every time we need him, whether it's publicly or privately. Thank you, Ron. Special thanks to the Fort Lauderdale Police Honor Guard that proudly presented our colors tonight and reminded us about the importance of patriotism and selfless service to our country. Thank you to the Color Guard. And with that, let me thank all of our public safety personnel. We've got our firefighters here, our police officers, our first responders, two of our Chief of Police, Frank Adderley, Chief of Fire, Robert Herschel. Thank you all for what you do. And it's a privilege and honor for me to recognize and thank the individuals that I get to work with every day to make this city great. My colleagues on the Fort Lauderdale City Commission. I'll start with the District Commissioner, Dean Trantalis, who many of you know. Dean's second time around on the commission. He served many years ago, did a fabulous job, took some time off to maybe make a little money, I believe, is probably the best way to put it. And now he's back in public service. But when you talk about a guy hitting the ground running with experience, that's Dean Trantalis. Dean, thank you. And then, of course, the gentleman next to Dean is 35 years as a police officer in the city, the last 6 as the chief of police, 7 years now on the city commission, a guy that 42 years of public service to the city of Fort Lauderdale, and he's a true public servant, Bruce Roberts. Thank you, Bruce. And then sitting next to Bruce is, of course, City Commissioner Romney Rogers, who, if you look at, this is the Renaissance man. You look at his resume, he was the head of the chamber. He's head of the oldest law firm in town. He's been a leader in the bar. He's been a leader at his church. You name it, he rises to leadership levels and performs with tremendous character and integrity. Romney Rogers. Robert McKenzie's on his way over. I got a note that he would be here shortly, so I'll mention him when he pops in the door, but I think he's almost here. I want to recognize we had Bobby DeVos here earlier from former city commissioner, now state representative, great friend of this commission. And then I see former Mayor Jim Noggle out here. Jim, thank you for being here tonight. I also want to just take a second to recognize our city staff under the outstanding leadership of Lee Feldman. Our staff has done an exceptional job supporting our neighbors and meeting the needs of our community and maintaining this great quality of life. Lee is not here tonight, as I mentioned, because he's actually representing us at a national conference. But Lee has now been appointed the president of the International City Managers Association, which is a tremendous honor, reflects his outstanding service here. But he is he's represented here tonight by 2 outstanding assistant city managers, Chris Lagerblum and Stanley Hawthorne. Stanley's right here. Thank you. Chris is over there. I also want to recognize a great charter officer team. We've got a group of people that work to help make the city better, provide us with a lot of advice and counsel, and just do a fabulous job. I'll start with our next longest serving one, our city auditor, John Herbst. John, there you are. Thank you, John. Our city attorney, Cynthia Everett. I see Cynthia sitting over here. Thank you, Cynthia. Outstanding job. And Cynthia is assembling a great team and has really done a remarkable job. And then City Clerk Jeff Mottarelli. Where's Jeff? Right here. There you go, Jeff. Thank you. Jeff just had his 1-year anniversary with us for the city, and I'll tell you what, Jeff, I think you're going to have many anniversaries to come because you're just doing a fabulous job. Thank you. But let me tell you the most important group to thank, and that's our neighbors here in Fort Lauderdale. It is the most talented, hardest working, most engaged citizens I've seen. We saw an example of that tonight talking about President Donaldson out there off A1A. But when you look at our city neighbors and residents, starting with the advisory boards and committees, these dedicated group of volunteers spend thousands of hours each year advising us on topics from the budget to economic development to housing and sustainability. And their expertise and recommendations have helped guide us on most of our decisions and probably our most important decisions. I want to thank all the board and committee members. Please rise so we can give you a round of applause. Who you just saw standing are those that have built community here in Fort Lauderdale. Commissioner McKenzie, I want to thank you. I actually did the introduction already, but I will tell you, you talk about a guy I love serving with. He and I, we went to grade school together. That's how long we've known each other. He is a remarkable talent, tremendous amount of energy and enthusiasm, a gentleman that believes that he's not going to sit and wait for anything to happen. He is going to make things happen. And fantastic job, Commissioner Robert McKenzie. I mentioned Brian Donaldson, but also all our neighborhood civic and homeowner association presidents and officers. Tremendous collection of talent, great people to work with. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And then if there are any veterans here tonight, you know, we often don't take time to really recognize our veterans, to thank them, because we don't enjoy this quality of life without them. If you're a veteran, please rise. Well, tonight I'm pleased to report that the state of our city is strong and we continue to build upon our wave of success. We are a city that sees diversity in our community and we applaud it. We can show the world that the people of Fort Lauderdale live, work, play, and worship in one peaceful place, and we try to lead by example. We're going to continue to act in a spirit of community and a spirit of cooperation, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of nationality, and regardless of race, age, gender, sexual orientation, or preferences. We are a city of justice, we are a city that respects the law, and we are a city that respects one another. As many of you know, the city of Fort Lauderdale has been a strong proponent of our Sister Cities International program. The mission of Sister Cities has grown, developed, and evolved into something much more than a cultural exchange program, and I want to give Commissioner Trentalis recognition for taking a leadership role with that. In August, he's been to more cities than all of us combined, I'll say that now. But in August, I had the opportunity to visit and share ideas with our sister city of Medellin, Colombia. The meetings we had provided stimulating opportunities to discuss our environment, sustainability initiatives, trade, how we can work together to enhance global economy, shared workspace. We know that many other cities around the world share similar goals and similar values. They want to make the world safer, promote healthy living, preserve our environment, and provide education, jobs, and career opportunities so that we can leave our children and future generations with a better, more prosperous world. These are the same values that have helped us build Fort Lauderdale into the successful, diverse, internationally recognized community in which we live. Let's start with the economy, and I can't start with the economy without recognizing two people. I'll start with the head of the chamber here in Fort Lauderdale, a guy that provides tremendous leadership, and that's Dan Lindblade. Dan, thank you for being here tonight. And when there's a yin, there's a yang, and there's a give, there's a take, and the other guy that helps so much with the economy is, of course, the head of the Alliance, a tremendous leader. They work so well together, never worrying about territorial issues, figuring out how they can help each other, and that's Bob Swindell at the Alliance. Bob, thank you. I'm going to send Bob and Dan to Congress and set them up in the rotunda and just say, see how well they get along. Always sharing ideas and sharing successes, so thank you. But let's talk about the economy. This past year, the greater Fort Lauderdale area added 26,300 private sector jobs. Unemployment rate dropped to 4.6%, which is down from 5.4% a year ago. The sectors with the largest year-over-year job growth are trade, transportation, and utilities, with 6,500 jobs, professional and business services with 5,100, and leisure and hospitality with 4,700. Of course, Ina Lee gets a little credit for those leisure and hospitality jobs. Thank you, Ina. And I can't recognize Ina without recognizing the hotelier extraordinary Heiko Dobrikow. Where's Heiko? I saw him here. There he is. Hey, thanks for wearing a bow tie to the event for me, Heiko. I appreciate that. Yeah. Let me give you an idea. The job demand in Fort Lauderdale was once again ranked 4th highest in the state of Florida with almost 25,000 job openings. So think about that. We have created all those jobs, 77 straight months of job growth, and we still have 25,000 job openings. So call your kids, call your grandkids, tell them to come on back down. We got jobs for them. I also want to mention a couple high-profile companies. We just opened here, Uniform Advantage, JetSmarter, Hotwire, and Sato. These are bringing high-paying jobs to our community and help position our city as the preferred choice now for corporate headquarters and business expansion and investment. Just earlier this year, BizCredit ranked us as the 4th best small business city in America. We had high marks for construction boom, record-breaking tourism growth, high average credit score, small business development programs, and a strategic location as an economic hub to Latin and South America. National publications take note of our economic resurgence and building boom. The Wall Street Journal just did a remarkable profile in the city of Fort Lauderdale, talking about the array of upscale hotels, resorts, and residential developments, along with a world-class beach. Experts have lauded Fort Lauderdale for the Wurzak Hotel, Four Seasons, Paramount, Auberge, which all now strengthen our reputation as an upscale destination for a record number of tourists. As Jake Wurzak just said recently, every great city has a hotel woven into the fabric of its identity and cultural experience, and in Fort Lauderdale, we're truly blessed to have record investment in hotels taking place in downtown and on the beach. As development and investment continue to flourish, we continue to capitalize on the opportunity to elevate the image of our downtown to new and exciting levels. And I can't mention downtown without recognizing the head of our Downtown Development Authority, a great public servant, Chris Wren. I saw Chris outside. I want to thank Chris for his leadership at the DDA. If you look at what's happening now, everybody always thought you had to put a hotel on the beach, but now we're seeing hotels in downtown Fort Lauderdale, which is fantastic. Of course, we still have the historic Riverside Hotel in downtown, the Grand Dome of Los Olas, but each new project brings a little different character, style, and amenities to downtown Fort Lauderdale. But just to give you an idea, what now is in the works, we have a 137-room Courtyard by Marriott. We have at the 700 block of North Federal. We've got a 108-room Fairfield on South Federal and a condo hotel at 100 East Los Olas. These projects will add approximately 1,400 additional hotel rooms to the city of Fort Lauderdale and underscore the strength of our economy and the vibrancy of our tourism. More and more people are coming to appreciate downtown Fort Lauderdale's unique urban lifestyle, which offers outstanding dining, entertainment, and cultural amenities, all within a walking distance of work. Look at the success of Flagler Village. New rental and condo developments are proliferating. The Brightline All Aboard Florida railway station is nearing completion, and the city is well positioned to build upon the success of Flagler Village and see it expand out onto Sistrunk. With the close proximity to downtown and Flagler, there are prime opportunities and excellent incentives for investing in our Sistrunk Boulevard corridor. If you have any questions at all, talk to Commissioner McKenzie because he is working that corridor. I'll tell you that much. Our Northwest CRA is leading that charge under the leadership of Commissioner McKenzie, and we're excited about the future. We got a number of events in downtown. I know you guys are the volunteers for them, but we're looking at the lineup. It's the Sunday Jazz Brunch, the Starlight Musicals, the Downtown Countdown, the St. Pat's Parade and Festival, Christmas on Los Olas, the monthly art walks, the Food in Motion. We have the greatest spectator events in the world, and we have our best one coming up next month, and that'll be the Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade. It'll be spectacular, folks. Mr. 305 is going to become Mr. 954, I'm going to tell you now. We have a new concert and movie series called Rockin' and Reelin' in the Heart of Sistrunk at Provident Park, and we have numerous runs and walks and bike events and street fairs and festivals. You look what's happening with our entertainment venues. Broward Center Performing Arts just completed its expansion. Museum of Discovery and Science completing theirs now. Nova Southeastern University Art Museum under the tremendous leadership of Bonnie Clearwater. Got the Fort Lauderdale History Center, and the downtown is just coming into its own as a place with outstanding cultural amenities. And right now, I think our downtown stands at a great pinnacle of success, and we are continuing to see it grow as we just hosted that DDA summit about what other great downtowns are doing. To give you an idea of the level of development, let me just run through this very briefly. We currently have in the review process downtown 3,900 residential units, 129,000 square feet of retail space, 16,000 square feet of office space, and 750 hotel rooms downtown. We have plans in the works for another 3,200 residential units, 77,000 square feet of retail space, 360,000 square feet of office space, and another 560 hotel rooms. And then you look around the rest of the city and you see 871 residential units, 74,000 square feet of retail space, 770,000 square feet of office space, and 108 hotel units. Clearly, the vision for a thriving downtown is quickly coming to fruition, and we're seeing an unbelievable amount of private investment, sending a clear signal of strength and confidence about our future. A couple of the national rankings we've mentioned before, but the All-American City, top 10 best downtowns, top 10 best cities for millennial job seekers, top 10 greenest mid-sized cities, top 10 best cities for small business, and the lowest travel taxes among the top 50 U.S. travel destinations. And just this week, the greater Fort Lauderdale area was named the #1 single-family housing market in the United States. We want to thank our Sustainable Development Department, and I want to thank Chris Lagerblum for the leadership you've shown with that department. They have now gotten on track for orderly, sustainable, and smart growth over the next decade and beyond. The city's building division has filled the vacancies, is launching new software solutions to enhance and improve the permitting review process. We're now seeing that 60% of all permits are now being issued in less than 30 days, which is a number we've been asking for quite some time. So thank you, Chris. But for the homeowners, the city's amending the neighborhood zoning criteria to allow for a new fast-tracked approach, which will enable homeowners to redevelop their properties in a more compatible manner while adding value and benefit to the neighborhood. We're trying to build community by creating safer, more desirable neighborhoods and stimulating public and private investment, and every city department plays a key role in sustaining our success. I'll start with the police department. They've played a major role in proactively engaging our community, reaching out to children and families to build trusting, caring relationships. They implemented an enhanced 21st century policing-centric in-service curriculum. This police training program incorporates a fair and impartial policing course, a crisis intervention course, a procedural justice course, a community policing course, and scenario-based practical exercises which include de-escalation training. This program aims to enhance our police officer knowledge, skills, and abilities to safely and successfully address the critical incidents they encounter on a daily basis. And folks, I'll just tell you, I rode with them just a few weeks ago. The night I rode with them, we had a SWAT call out where the person ended up committing suicide. Went over after that to 19th Street where we had a shooting. And I rode with these officers, and until you ride with them and realize what they encounter on the street, where they don't know who the good guys are and the bad guys when they initially pull over a car or get out of that car, they don't know who's in the shadows or who's lurking, and they have done a remarkable job, and I want to thank our police department for now taking on this additional. They successfully implemented an action plan to combat the dangerous drug Flocka, and weekly drug investigations show that Flocka is no longer readily available on the streets of Fort Lauderdale, and the number of deaths have been dramatically reduced. They've activated a new real-time crime center that functions as a central location to combine local, state, and national criminal justice databases, citywide security cameras, and let me tell you, you're always on a camera in Fort Lauderdale, folks. I had to tell some people at the elbow room that when they were out celebrating the hurricane. I said, guys, in fact, some of you were there, but I won't single you out. Second row, third seat in. No. But when you look at this center, it's amazing. It really helps us out with the also special event management and critical incident command. We also love what the Neighbor Support Division is doing here. They're coordinating our citywide volunteer initiatives, the Fort Lauderdale Cares Day, the Make a Difference Day. In fact, Make a Difference Day 2 days from today, Saturday, October 29th. But this division oversees our Neighbor Support Night, the Show Up, Step Out Youth Leadership Program, which just got the honors as the best neighborhood program in the nation at this year's Neighborhood USA Conference. That's our department. And to put that department in perspective, the work they did contributed 92,000 volunteer hours to the city, so you working with that department have truly made a difference. Our Fire Rescue Department, another top-notch department, outstanding work, 54,300 incidences last year. According to Firehouse Magazine, Fort Lauderdale's Firehouse 2, located on 2nd Street, was the busiest fire station in the United States. During the past year, there were 33,000 fire unit responses from that one single fire station, which is more than any firehouse in the nation. That includes New York, LA, Philadelphia, Chicago. That station right off of Broward Boulevard off 2nd Street led the nation. The Fire Rescue Department took delivery of 11 new medical transport rescue vehicles and 3 new fire engines. These vehicles are smaller and more fuel efficient than the vehicles they replaced and will enhance our response to fires and medical emergencies. In order to maintain the outstanding service our fire department provides to our neighbors and millions of annual visitors, we just approved the first daily minimum staffing increase in over 2 decades for our fire department. 18 new positions for firefighters and paramedics are included in this year's budget. Thank the Commission for passing that. I'm also proud to report that the fire department applied for and was awarded a port security grant through the Department of Homeland Security. Special thanks there to our members of Congress, the Lois Frankel, Ted Deutsch, and we were able to purchase a state-of-the-art 40-foot fireboat. The grant was worth over $874,000, saving the residents a substantial amount of money. This new aluminum-hulled fireboat will be equipped with twin diesel motors, a closed cabin. It'll enable firefighters to treat patients on the go and transport them quickly and safely. The vessel will have a suppression foam system, underwater search and dive rescue equipment, and a technologically advanced features such as forward-looking infrared to navigate and search in darkness, as well as monitors that can detect chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive detection equipment. So this new addition to the fire department will enhance boater safety, water recreational activities, and fire suppression capabilities for businesses and marinas in the city. And speaking of boating, the city of Fort Lauderdale is proud to be fueled by the marine industry and proud to be the home to the largest and most recognized boat show in the world, which sails into town a week from today. And I can't mention the boat show without once again recognizing former Mayor Noggle, who did such an awesome job leading the marine industry efforts. And for those, I'm about 2/3 through, so just a few more. When it comes to economic impact, the boat show has no equal. The most recent study released showed that the boat show's economic output is $857 million, which is greater than any other event in the state of Florida, including any Super Bowl we've ever hosted. $508 million in sales by Florida corporations, $240 million in sales by businesses in our Tri-County area, and $131 million in sales just in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. $304 million in statewide personal income and economic activity, $51 million in sales and excise taxes, and $17 million of which are in Broward County. Plus, we'll have about $30 million in expenditures just from the visitors here next week that'll stay for the boat show. So it is a tremendous economic engine. As we prepare to celebrate the 57th year of the boat show, we remain committed to preserving, supporting, and enhancing this amazing event that symbolizes the spirit and character of our great city. And then earlier tonight, we cut the ribbon out there at the A1A, and that brings me to our Department of Transportation and Mobility. What a tremendous department led by Diana Alicon, who is, where's Diana? You know, we took a position, we're going to have pedestrian-friendly, multimodal city, a connected community where the single occupancy vehicle is not the only choice, where our neighbors are able to walk, bike, and use transit to get to and from their many destinations. And when you look at what we've accomplished, we're no longer talking about moving cars or vehicles, we're talking about moving people in the city of Fort Lauderdale. We've got Vision Zero Fort Lauderdale that promotes safety through the 5 E's: education, encouragement, engineering, enforcement, and evaluation, to ultimately achieve fatality-free roadways. We are the first and only Vision Zero city in Florida and in the Southeast United States. We also have been recognized by the Florida Bicycle Association. They just selected us as the recipient of the 2016 Share the Road Leadership Award in recognition of our Vision Zero initiative. We're going to receive that award tomorrow at the organization's annual Share the Road celebration in Gainesville, Florida, so that'll be exciting. Our efforts in transportation also include establishing an innovative program to develop comprehensive neighborhood mobility master plans to integrate traffic calming strategies to address speeding and safety issues. Over the past year, we've completed plans for Lake Ridge, Coleridge Country Club Estates, Palm Air Village, Twin Lakes North. God, Bruce, you got most of these, don't you? Jeez. And then last night, I think Tarpon River and Shady Banks did theirs, are in the final stages of completing their mobility plan. And these plans serve as a roadmap for our neighborhoods to address mobility and connectivity on their streets. We're working on a few more plans I'll touch on briefly. Northeast 1st Street, to address the high level of pedestrian activity. We've transformed it from a straight street to a meandering design. We've added crosswalks, and we're doing other complete street components. Northeast 13th Street, we just launched the Complete Street project, adding bike lanes, on-street parking, landscaping, stormwater drainage, and additional street lighting. We're starting Dixie Highway Complete Streets in January with bike lanes, traffic calming, sidewalks, and crosswalks. Northwest 9th Street includes a new sidewalk, bicycle facilities, and pedestrian. Underway on A1A north of us is Oakland Park to Flamingo Boulevard with more improvements on bike lanes, additional landscaping, sidewalk enhancements, and a new crosswalk. And that brings me to our Parks and Recreation Department. Just received more national recognition for outstanding, well-maintained facilities and innovative recreational programs. They do an amazing job providing a wide range of programming for our children and youth, whether it's basketball courts, ball fields, playgrounds, community pools, educational program. They do an amazing job trying to convert undesirable behavior in unsupervised settings to desirable behavior in supervised settings. We have 7 fully licensed after-school sites now. With funding from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we're also providing healthy and nutritional snacks for our children and youth throughout the school year in our after-school program. Our Club 55 Plus classes, which we all may be members of, so I'm going to just leave it at that, has now expanded to 11 park locations. As a result of this comprehensive programming, the city just earned national accreditation from the Commission for Accreditation of Parks and Recreational Agencies, CAPRA, once again. So congratulations to them. A couple last items on the parks. National League of Cities just awarded us 5 gold medals and ranked us first in the nation for our efforts for Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties. And they're continuing to coordinate with our Public Works Department in Broward County on the Segment 2 Beach Nourishment Project to put another 550,000 cubic yards of sand on approximately 3.5 miles of Fort Lauderdale Beach. Studies have shown that crime rates are lower in clean and graffiti-free public spaces. We can thank our Sanitation Services Division for their diligent removal of trash, cleaning of bus shelters, the beach, canals, streets, parking lots, maintenance of public places, and mitigation. And they also provide bulk trash collection services to the entire city. Our Public Works Department operates 24/7 to provide water to over 170,000 residents, millions of visitors in 6 neighboring municipalities, manages and operates a wastewater system that collects and treats an average of 38 million gallons of wastewater per day. So the department is leading the way toward improving our city's resilience to flooding and sea level rise, led by Dr. Nancy Gassman. Is she here? I want to recognize Dr. Nancy Gassman. She's nationally recognized expert in the city's sustainability division. And she led our efforts on the new seawall ordinance. So we continue to implement aggressive measures to combat high tides, including the installation of more than 116 tidal valves, ongoing maintenance of our storm drains and catch basins, removing standing water from our streets, monitoring pump stations, and deploying temporary and sand berms and dams, all in an effort to minimize flooding. We have 16 adaptation action areas identified and 38 projects in the community investment plan, and Public Works has completed 17 stormwater improvement projects from Phase 1. Over the past 6 years, we've now invested more than $40 million in stormwater improvements. We continue, the Public Works Department is expediting the construction of several water and sewer infrastructure replacement projects along the Los Olas Boulevard corridor to reduce the risk of sewer main breakage and potential overflows. In fact, if you go over to Los Olas Bridge now, you'll notice construction workers installing a new water main and sewage main deep under the intercoastal waterway, but you'll see them on the surface working out there. I want to congratulate our Public Works Fleet Division for earning the distinction of being named the 26th best fleet in America. The Fleet Division has made safety, fuel efficiency, and energy conservation and maintenance top priorities, so thank you to them. And the U.S. EPA just recognized us as the nation's top local government for outstanding leadership in waste prevention and diversion. With that, they looked at waste diversion, source reduction, leadership, innovation, education, and outreach. We appreciate that work on our behalf. We want to congratulate the sustainability for that. I also just want to touch on two last divisions. City codes is vital to public health, safety, and property values, and our overall quality of life. Our code enforcement division now works 7 days a week to help property owners meet their obligation. Code enforcement's handling hundreds of cases successfully each and every month, protecting you, your property, and your neighborhood. Thanks to code enforcement, as well as the cooperation of our neighbors and neighborhoods, we are seeing property values up. Property values spiked 9.8% in the city over the last year, marking our 5th consecutive year of growth. In addition to gains in property value, Fort Lauderdale saw almost $460 million in added taxable value added through construction. For the past 10 years, our City Commission has made it a top priority to keep our millage rate unchanged while continuing to deliver quality, cost-effective services to our neighbors. According to the latest data, Fort Lauderdale's current millage rate of 4.1193, heck, Jim even remembers that number, now ranks as the lowest millage rate of the 25 largest cities in the state of Florida. But on top of that, as a result of our conservative fiscal management, lean process improvements, and operational efficiencies, we are projecting a $67.5 million reserve fund balance, which is well above our adopted policy and exceeds the national standards for all municipal governments. Our strong fund balance, along with our low debt load, enhances our bond ratings, saving residents and businesses millions of dollars in interest costs and strengthening our long-term financial stability. Now, as many of you know, on November 8th ballot, there is two 1/2-cent sales surtax questions. 1/2-cent sales surtax is proposed to fund countywide transportation, and the other 1/2-cent sales is proposed to fund municipal infrastructure projects. Want to keep that millage rate at 4.1193. We encourage you to support that sales tax. I think the 1 cent total, you'll see that during the recent Great Recession, the funding for infrastructure was set aside, was delayed, deferred, and we weren't able to fully fund infrastructure during that great downturn. In fact, this year is the first year our property tax revenues are back to where they were in the 2007-2008 timeframe. So with this program with this project on the ballot, encourage you to read up about it, learn about it, but it'll help move several of our programs from the capital improvement project forward. So for more information, I encourage you to visit our website at fortlauderdale.gov or a penny at work. In closing, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you, our neighbors, for helping us create this wave of success that is lifting our entire city, moving us forward, and strengthening our commitment to build community. My special thanks and gratitude to this outstanding City Commission, to the great city team that we have, from the charter officers to all of the people we mentioned earlier. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your service and sacrifice. You know, when you look out at any given time in our city, you see so many neighbors who give so much of their time, who so selflessly serve the city, volunteering, sacrificing their weekends. And we want to thank you for your dedication to improving our quality of life for us and for generations to come. Thank you for coming out here tonight. May God bless you, and may God bless the great city of Fort Lauderdale.